In this next part of the lesson, I'm working to take the good work that Emma has done with conceptualizing and move students to the next level. I'm preparing them to use bar models to think about relationships between numbers when they're working with word problems. This is surprisingly difficult for students, and I know this because I fell flat with a second grade class a few years ago who couldn't decompose 14 into a 6 and an 8 using a bar model. So I knew we needed to go back farther. So Emma's done this amazing work, and these students can see an 8 and a 6 at this conceptual subitizing level, and they're starting to use base 10. But that doesn't mean that they're immediately ready to look at things completely at the symbolic level. And as you'll see from this lesson, I work with them, Emma and I work with them to progress them towards the bar model. We don't take anything for granted. We help make those connections explicitly for them.
So you guys are doing some amazing stuff there. What if Miss Norris would have just written this on the board instead of using the dots? What if she would have given you something like this? 9 plus 5. Could you do that the same way you did the dots?
Yes.
Can you picture 9 in your mind? How would you break apart the 5?
You'd picture out the 5 as taking 1 away from the 5 and adding 1 to the 9.
So,
make 10.
Nice. So in your head, you'd go, right?
Yeah.
And then you'd say, oh, well, I'm going to put that 1 over there. You see that? So you can do it with the dots, but you can also do it like this?
Yeah.
Okay. So what would be a way, so now let's just play with breaking up numbers. What if I have the number 8? Got the number 8, and I want to break it up. I want to have the same amount, okay? I want to break it up just the way you guys are breaking it up, but I want you to break it up into 2 parts, a small part and a big part. Who can break that up? Can you break that up? Can you break that 8 up into a small part and a large part?
Oh.
You have 2 partners that can be put together to make 8. Go ahead, Taylor.
7 plus 1.
All right. So basically, you took your 8 and you broke it like this, right? Is that right? Awesome. So what would that look like with numerals? Does that 1 and 7 equal to 8?
Yes.
Cool. Let's try another one. Can you guys do double digits?
Yes.
Okay, so what if I give you a 14? So that's the whole total. And now I want you to break it up into 2 equal parts. Can anybody do that? Who hasn't spoken yet this morning? What do you got?
You could do
Hands down, she's working on it. Would 6 and 8 work? Would that be 2 equal parts?
no.
Would 1 and 13 work? Would that be 2 equal parts? What would be 2 equal parts? 4 and 10, would that work? Is that equal? Is this 14? Can you break these up into 2 equal parts?
It could be 7 plus 7.
7 and 7, and they're equal parts?
Yeah.
Nice. So I could break 14 up into 7 and 7, right? So you guys, all that work you've been doing with those dots, now you can picture those dots in your mind because that's what these numerals represent. All right, this one's going to be tough, so you have to stick with me, okay? What if I had 10, and I told you you had to have one of the parts be 3? Would you know what the other part was? Would you know what the other part was? If I said, you're going to take your 10, you're going to break it up, and one of the parts is going to be 3. Would you know what the other part was? Here's your 10. And I said, well, you've got to make this a 3. What would the other part be?
7.
Sweet. That has to be 7, right? Could it be 8?
No.
Has to be 7. If I took my 10 and I broke it up into it, and I knew one part was a 3, and then I knew the other part would have to be 7. Got it? You guys are way better than I expected you to be, because I think we can go into even bigger double-digit numbers.
Do it bigger.
Bigger?
Like 21.
So what if I said 15, and somebody tell me what the first part has to be? What's the first part have to be?
The first part. Wait, would it have to be in
It's up to you. Up to you. No, just tell me one part of that 15. So Ms. Norris has a big thing of 15, and you get to say what one part, break one part off. Bam. Okay, so what are you gonna break? What are you gonna tell me? So this one's 7. So you can put that, stick that in your lap. Don't let anybody see what that is. So one part is 7. Can anybody tell us what she's got in her lap? How many does she have left?
8.
How did you know that?
Because I noticed that 7 plus 7 equals 14 and just added 1.
So if I have 15 blocks and I take 7 away, I know another 7 will get me to 14, but I'd still be missing 1. And so I know all together she must have 8 in her lap. Wow, nice thinking. That there were 2 parts. And one part was 4 and the other part was 9. Would you be able to tell me what the total was?
Yeah.
You could use your break apart strategy. 13. So I just took 1 in my mind from the 4 and made it 10, and I had 3 left over, so I know it's 1, 10, and 3. I think we're ready for a word problem. These 2 are equal. However much this is, that's how long this is. But on the top, we're going to have the total, and on the bottom, we're going to have it broken up into parts, just like you guys just did.